Good afternoon, students. Welcome to my lecture. Today I am going to discuss about modeling use case diagrams. Before that, let me recap for 10 minutes about previous session topics. In previous class, we have discussed about use case relationships, right? Is my voice is clear, students? If there is any disturbance, please message in the chat box as other class is going on here. Is my voice is clear for you? Okay. Okay, Kavya. Okay, students, today I'm going to discuss about today's topic. Let me show that. Yes, see here, this is a today's topic. Common modeling techniques for use case diagrams. We are going to discuss about this. Before that, let me recap previous class topics. Let us see it one by one. Use case relationships. First relationship is communication. See the graphical representation, communication or association. See the graphical representation, just a solid line. Next, second relationship is include relationship. See here, see the graphical representation, dotted lines and arrow mark. Here you need to observe this one, arrow mark. You need to observe the arrow mark. See here, it is outgoing. Okay, not incoming, outgoing arrow mark is nothing but just include relationship. If you want to show the include relationship, you need to use this graphical symbol, dotted lines and arrow mark. This is outgoing. Okay, third one. Next relationship is extend relationship. I'm sorry, one second. Okay, extend relationship. See here, third one is extend relationship. Extend relationship also is shown using dotted lines and arrowhead. Okay, dotted lines and arrowhead. See here, you need to observe difference between include and extend relationship graphical symbols. See here, once again, see include relationship, outgoing arrow mark. Here coming to the extend relationship, it is a dotted symbol with arrow mark, but this is incoming. See the direction. Don't get confused. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. See here. Include and extend. Next, coming to fourth one. Fourth relationship is generalization relationship. Already you know this generalization relationship, right? See here how graphically you need to represent. Draw a solid line and then draw a triangle symbol. Now let us discuss one by one. Already you know all those things. Communication link. This link exists between actor and use case. You know what is meant by use case? You know what is meant by actor, right? Actors are nothing but who interact with the system. Either it either he may be he, either it may be a person, either it may be a person or system. Okay. Example just like this. Student. Actors are nothing but either it may be a person or system with which who interacts with the system, or with which your system, the developed system, interacts with other systems, just like database, like that. Okay, so all those things are represented as actors. Once again, see who are actors: the persons who are interact with the system, or the system with which the developed system is interacting. Okay, you are developing some system, that system may interact with other system also, then those systems are also considered as actors. Next, here communication relationship is nothing but association link. It must be represented using solid line, and this relationship exists between actor and use case. See the example, you will understand. Next, see the example. Okay, next. Already we have discussed all these things. Include relationship. When you need to use include relationship, when a use case is using other use case. If this use case 1 need to execute, then compulsory use case 2 must be executed. In order to execute use case 1, use case 2 functionality also should be executed, or this use case 1 calls use case 2 in order to execute its functionality. Which functionality? Use case 1 functionality. So here what you need to remember is this include relationship will be between use cases only. Once again, see Communication relationship, this relationship will be in between actor and use case only. Communication, just a link. Coming to include relationship, this relationship exists between use cases only. When you need to use include relationship, when a use case uses the functionality of other use case in order to execute use case 1, use case 2 will be called. Okay, here use case 1 is called base use case, and another use case 2, use case 2 is called include use case. Okay, see here, see the symbol. One second, see the symbol here. Here, include relationship is represented using dotted lines, and then I will zoom it. See here, dotted lines, and then give arrowhead. See here, arrowhead must point to include use case. Remember that, include relationship, dotted symbols, and then arrowhead. This arrowhead should point to the use case, include use case. Let us see with an example. See, withdraw funds. Okay, withdraw funds is an use case where you are going to withdraw money. Okay, here in order to execute this, see, after withdrawing, balance must be updated, right? After withdrawing, balance must be updated. That means this withdraw, in order to execute this withdraw funds, compulsory it should call update balance. After withdrawing, balance must be updated, right? Okay, so in order to execute withdraw funds, it will call update balance. Now here withdraw funds is called base use case. See here, withdraw fund is called base use case, and update balance is called include use case. What is the relationship between both of them? Include. Withdraw funds includes update balance. Here you need to show just like stereotype, less than 2 less than symbol, include, write the name include, and 2 greater than symbols. I hope you understood. Next, see here another example. One second. Okay, see here. Here you need what you need to remember is, here this include use case, this is an include use case. This include use case can be used or include, this include use case may be used by another use cases also, not only one use case. This include use case, it is called common use case, common functionality. This can be used by another different another use cases also, not only one use case. See the example, you will understand. Withdraw funds, this after withdrawing, compulsory balance must be updated. That means it should call update balance in order to execute withdraw funds functionality completely. Okay, next, deposit funds. After depositing, compulsory update balance must be updated, right? Compulsory balance must be updated. You're transferring, right? You're doing some transactions. So after some transactions, balance must be updated, right? Here, what are the transactions you are doing? Withdraw funds, you are withdrawing. Okay, in order to execute this use case must use or must call update balance. Next, deposit funds. After funds has been transferred, what you need to do? Sorry, what it must do? It must update the balance. So deposit funds include update balance, include relationship. What this include relationships is saying? Compulsory, in order to execute this base use case, this is a base use case. In order to execute the base use case, it should use the functionalities of update balance included use case. Next example, give appointment. See the next example, give appointment. So in order to execute this use case, give appointments is a base use case, right? Base use case. And this is a include use case, include use case. Now in order to execute give appointment use case, this must use, sorry, one second, base use case must use another use case. What is that another use case functionality? What is that? Notify patients. That means after giving appointment, it should notify the patients, right? So they will know what is, when they should meet the doctor. Okay, after giving appointment, compulsory they should, it should notify the patients. They should get some message. So in order to execute give appointment, it should call the functionality of notify patients. That means it is using the functionality of notify patients. Okay, what is the relationship between give appointment and notify patients? Include. And what you need to observe, see here, see the graphical representation of include, dotted lines and then arrowhead. See here, arrowhead must point to the include use case. Next, extend use case. When this extend use case will be executed when a condition is met. When a condition is met, at that time only this use case 2 will be executed. See here, you need to observe this one. 1 second, I will zoom it. See here, what is the relationship? Extend. Here use case 1. In order to execute use case 1, no need to call use case 2. When use case 2 will be called when some condition is executed, when some condition is true, or when some condition is met. At that time only use case 2 will be executed. Other than that, it won't execute. It is not compulsory. Okay. Use case 1, in order to execute use case 1, it is not compulsory that use case 2 will be executed. No. When use case 2 will be executed when some condition is met. At that time only use case 2 will be executed. Now see here, dotted lines and arrowhead. Here in extend relationship, arrowhead, 1 second, see here, arrowhead must point to base use case. See the difference. In include relationship, arrowhead must point to include use case. In base, in extend relationship, arrowhead, see this arrow mark, this arrowhead must point to the base use case. Remember that. Let us see an examples. See here, deposit funds. Deposit funds. Next, calculate bonus. What is the relationship between deposit funds and calculate bonus? Extend. Why you're using extend? Because here deposit funds. 1 second. I will give. I will use some condition. I will write some condition. Oh, okay. Okay. Condition. See here. When balance is greater than 10,000, 10,000. This is the condition. Okay. See here. When this use case, which use case? Extended use case. Here deposit funds is called base use case. Calculate bonus is called extended use case. When this extended use case calculate bonus will be executed when some condition is true. For example, if balance is greater than 10,000, 10,000, then only bonus is calculated. Otherwise bonus is not calculated. So relationship between deposit funds and calculate bonus is extend. When some condition is met, at that time only extended use case will be executed. Otherwise it won't execute. This is the example. Next, generalization. Already you know what is meant by generalization, right? See here. Here you need, what you need to observe is, 1 second, communication link will be between actor and use case. Remember that. Next, include relationship will be between use cases only. Remember that. Next, extended relationship will be between use cases only. Between use cases only. Next, here coming to generalization. Here generalization relationship will be between actors and use cases. Between actors and use cases. See the diagram, you'll understand. Okay, see here. Here, see the diagram, you'll understand. I will erase this. 1 second. Okay, see here. See this diagram. Here, what is happening? See here, user, student, faculty. Student is a user, right? Faculty is also user, right? Here, student acquires the properties of user. Faculty acquires the properties of user. This is nothing but generalization. How generalization is represented? I'll zoom it, wait. See here, how generalization is represented. Draw a solid line and draw a triangle. Remember that this triangle must point to the point. 1 second. This what is this? This triangle. This triangle must point to the, or what inherits the role of 1 second. Yes. 1 second, please wait. Okay, see the diagram once. Just wait. I'll zoom it. Here, user is parent and student and faculty or child. Okay, here, uh, child inherits the properties of parent. And here, child faculty inherits the properties of parent. Now, this triangle symbol must point to the parent. Okay, I hope you understood. Once again, see generalization, how to represent generalization. Draw a solid line and then draw a triangle. Triangle must point to the parent. Once again, student acquires the properties of users and faculty acquires the properties of users. Next, next, generalization between use cases. Okay, see here, child use case inherits the structure, behavior, and other relationships of parent. Here, see here, use case 1 and use case 2. Here, use case 2 is acquiring the properties of functionalities. Acquiring functionalities, like this you can say. Use case 2 is acquiring the functionalities of use case 1. Now here, use case 1 is called abstract use case. See here, what is the name? Here, use case 1 is called abstract use case. And use case 2 is called specialized use case. Coming to here, users. Here, user is called generalized. Here, student and faculty are called specialized. Okay. Coming to here, use case 1 is called abstract use case. Use case 2 is called specialized use case. Here, use case 2 is acquiring the functionalities of use case 1. Already you know in Java what is abstract class. Okay, you know all those things, right? No need to revise all those things. What is meant by abstract class? Anyone, please answer my question so that you will understand what is abstract use case, all these things. All these concepts you know that you know, right? Anyone? Students, please respond. Navya, message in chat box. What is abstract class? No one is responding. Students, I need some responses. No one knows it. One second. No one knows it or what? Wait. Okay. Oh, okay, Navya. Which contains abstract methods? What is meant by abstract method? Already you know all these things. Please remember. Which provides only declaration but no implementation. Very good, Navya. Now let us see. Yes, very good. Only one member is responding. Remaining members don't know. Please memorize all those things. Always only one or two members only responding. Very good, Navya. See here. Okay, see here. Coming to this use case. 1 second, I will zoom it. Now this use case, abstract use case, this use case will provide no functionality. Okay, here it will provide no functionality. Here use case 2 will provide the functionality. I'll explain with an example. See, in what is abstract class, which will have, 1 second, which contains abstract methods, right? What is meant by abstract method? There will be no body. That means there is no implementation for those methods. Who will implement? Some other class will implement, right? In the same way here, use case 1 is called abstract use case. It doesn't have any functionality. Who will implement this functionality? Use case 2. Use case 1 is with no functionality. Remember that. Use case 1 will have no functionality. Here use case 2 will have the functionality. I'll explain with an example. At that time you can understand. See here, let us see with an example. At that time you can understand. See the examples. See this example. Perform money transaction. Okay, perform money transaction. This is a use case. Actually here, this use case is not performing anything, any transactions. See here, withdraw money is withdraw money is a transaction, right? Deposit money is a transaction, right? Is a relationship. That's why what you are doing, see here, generalization. Draw a symbol. Oh, sorry. Draw a solid line and then triangle. Draw a solid line and then triangle. Okay, this triangle must point to the parent class. Sorry, parent use case. Here, actually, no money transaction is performing. Okay, abstract use case. This is called abstract use case. Actually, no money transaction is performing. Who is performing this use case with withdraw money? Okay, this use case is providing the functionality. Okay, this what is this abstract use case, right? Here, perform money transaction is an abstract use case. This is not performing any functionality. Who is providing withdraw money? Okay, child use case is providing actual transaction. Sorry, actual functionality. Coming to deposit money, it is also a transaction, right? Okay, now this deposit money use case is providing the functionality. Okay, remember that. Here, this perform money transaction is abstract use case with no functionality. Who is providing? Child use cases or providing the functionalities. I hope you understand. Another example. Another example. See here. Verify student identity. This is a use case. Verify student identity. Actually, it is not performing anything. Who is performing? This is an only base. Sorry, this is only abstract use case. Verify student identity use case is an abstract use case with no functionality. But who is providing the functionality? See here. Check student fingerprint. Okay, check student fingerprint. Okay, this is providing the functionality. What this use case is doing? Verifying the student identity, right? Okay, how you are identifying? How you are identifying the student? By checking the fingerprint. This is actually providing the functionality. Next, check student ID card. Okay, how you are verifying the student? By checking the student ID card. This is actually providing the functionality. Here, child use cases are providing the functionality. Here, abstract use case will not provide any functionality. Child use case will acquire the properties of abstract use case. That's all. Here, check student fingerprint. It is a verifying the student identity, right? Next, check student ID card. It is a if there is a relationship, then just give generalization. How to provide generalization? Draw a solid line and then you need to draw a triangle. I hope you understood, students. Is it clear? Is it clear, students? Shall I continue? See, I need your responses. Shall I continue or should I explain it again? No one responding. No one is responding. Clear. Only one member is responding. What about remaining members? See, I'm not able to understand whether you are able to understand or not. Okay, Afros, Navya, Kavya, always 3 or 4 members only out of 60 students. Okay, let us see. Next. Okay, next one. See, boundary. Next one is boundary of the system. It's nothing but just see here. 1 second. Okay, see here. Boundary of the system. Graphically, how this boundary of the system is represented? Draw a rectangle. Okay, draw a rectangle. Now, all the use cases must be in between the boundary of the system only. Okay, it shows the functionalities of the system. How can you show the functionality of the system graphically? You need to draw a boundary so that it represents the system, and all the use cases must be within the boundary only. Okay, it represents, that is, these functionalities. Sorry. Okay, functionalities, right? Use cases are nothing but functionalities, right? Okay, see, you need to draw or you need to write, whatever it may be, you need to draw use cases within this boundary only. It represents what it represents. It represents that these are the functionalities of the system. I hope you understood. Nothing but draw a triangle. Sorry, Draw a rectangle. I'm sorry. Draw a rectangle like this. And all the use cases must be provided or must be drawn within this boundary only. Next. Yes. Now let us see how to draw use case diagrams. How to draw use case diagrams? You need to follow some modeling techniques. There are some modeling techniques. You need to follow that. See, students, in examination, if they ask to draw the diagram, use case diagram, don't draw use case diagram directly. You need to follow these techniques. By using these techniques only, you need to draw stage by stage, one by one. Okay. Next, okay, I had to explain, right? See here, first modeling technique is modeling the context of the system. Second modeling technique is modeling the requirements of the system. Third one is forward and reverse engineering. Let us discuss one by one. First one, modeling the context of the system. What you need to do in this technique. Here in this technique, I'll explain, just wait. Modeling the context of the system. Just wait. Okay, see here. First technique. First technique is modeling the context of the system. What you need to do? First, you need to identify the actors. Example. For example, let us take our college administrative system or information system of the college. Who are primary actors? Students, you need to reply. First, see here. First, modeling the context of the system. In this technique, what you need to do is you need to identify the actors. Who are actors who are interacting with the system? Either it may be a person or either it may be either it may be a system. Now here I took the example of CAS, our college administrative system. Please respond, students. Who are primary actors for this application? Which application I took? Our college administrative system. Primary. 1 second. Only Navya is answering. What about remaining members? Primary actors. Primary actors. Secondary actors. You need to identify like this. Don't draw diagram directly in examination also. Only one member answered. What about remaining members? Very good, Navya. Just wait. Only one member is there in the class. See, primary members, I am talking about our college administrative system, about this. You know, right? College administrative system where faculty will post the marks, post the attendance. You can view the attendance, you can view the marks, you can upload your details, all those things. Here, primary actors are faculty, comma, and student. Secondary actor is admin. You need to identify like this. Remaining members also need to answer. Please answer. These are very easy, right? Already you know all these things. Next one. After identifying the actors, you need to identify use cases. Use cases. Can anyone answer my question? What are the use case of our college administrative system? Please respond. No one is responding. Students, what are the use cases of college administrative system or information system of our college, of the college? No one knows it. Only login, no functionality, Navya, Kavya, Sindhu. No other functionalities, only login use case. Only you will log in. Nothing you will do. Post marks, change password. Very good. 59, 32. Navya. Okay, remaining results, check results. You should not write like that. What you're doing, what results, check results, something like that. Or view results. Gopi Krishna, very good. Change password, view profile, very good. Only that's all functionalities in college administrative system. What you're doing, give review. What review? See, there are many functionalities, right? 1 second. First login. You will log in. There are many functionalities. See, all these are functionalities only. Attendance, post attendance, delete attendance, view, feedback, upload video, view online videos, course files, all these things faculty can do. Students, view profile of the students, all these are nothing but these are all use cases. See, all are these functionalities, right? This is one use case, this is one use case, post attendance, all these are use cases only. Okay, upload certificates, very good, Navya. See, you can write on your own. Okay, very good. Now let us see. 1 second. Yes, identify the use cases like this. Login. You need to write like this in examination also. Login, view attendance, post attendance, post attendance, change password, something like that. Change password. Next, there are many. Post marks, marks, something. There are many use cases, right? Upload certificate, something like that. Like that, write down all the use cases. You need to identify all the use cases. You need to identify all the use cases, and then see once again. See, what is the first you need to do, identify the actors, and then identify the use cases, and then what you need to do, you need to connect 1 second. You need to connect the actors with these use cases. Who are doing what? You need to know, right? Okay, who are interacting with these functionalities? You need to show in the diagrammatic format in this way. Okay, see here. 1 second. I'm sorry. Use case diagram for information system of the college. Information of system of the college. In first, 1 second. In first modeling technique, you should not identify include use case, extend use case. You should not at all identify all these things. Remember that. You should not identify include use cases, extend use cases in first modeling technique. You need to identify who are actors and what are the functionalities of the system. What are the functionalities of the system? That's all. Okay, see here. See, actually, here you can draw like this, right? User in this way, user, and then you can give something generalization like this: student, faculty, and generalization like this you can give. But I didn't specify like this. Why? I'll explain. See here. See, if you give in this way, see here, just like some generalization giving like user after student, faculty, acquiring the properties of user. If you are giving like this, you don't know who are posting the attendance, you don't know who are viewing the attendance. If you give in this way, that's why I have given separately, so that you will understand who we need to understand. Okay, you are developing the system. Client need to understand, right? Who are posting the attendance, who are viewing the attendance. So that's why I have separated student and faculty without using generalization. Okay, now see here. Student, student, uh, student, faculty, or actors. Admin is also an actor, right? Secondary actor. Now see the functionalities of the system. Give feedback. Who will give feedback? Student, right? Who is giving feedback? That's why I have connected student and feedback. Functionality is nothing but use cases. All these are functionalities. You can write on your own. Don't by heart whatever is there in PPT. Just think what are the functionalities. It's very easy. You need to know what how system will be. College administrative system. Next, enroll course. See, don't identify, include and extend use cases in first modeling technique only, in first stage only. Now, next use case, enroll course. What is the next use case? Students will enroll to the course, right? This is also a functionality. Next, next, login. Who are going to log in? Student and faculty. That's why I have connected student to login and also faculty to login. And also see admin also should log in, right? That's why I have connected student to login and faculty to login and admin to login. See the diagram carefully. Next, view grade. Who are going to view grade? Student only, right? That's why I have connected view grade, nothing but marks. Viewing marks. That's why I have connected student to the grade. Next, view attendance. Who are going to view attendance? Student only, right? Okay. Faculty also can view the attendance. You can draw like this. I'm sorry. Faculty also can view the attendance, right? Yes, like this. Faculty can view the attendance. Student can view the attendance. That's why I have connected faculty to view the attendance and student to view the attendance. What is the relationship here? Communication solid line. You can write arrow marks like this. Direction also in this way. Your wish. You can give arrow marks like this. Next, update profile. Who can update profile? Student and faculty. That's why I have connected faculty to student. Sorry, faculty to update profile and student to update profile. Next, post attendance. Who are going to post attendance? Not student, right? That's why faculty, not student. Student will not post attendance. Student will view attendance. Okay, that's why I have connected faculty to post attendance. Who is posting the attendance? Faculty, right? I'm talking about this. Next, post grades. Who are going to post the grades? Post the grades are nothing but upload marks. Who are going to do that? Faculty only, right? So faculty, I have connected faculty to post grades functionality. Next, modify marks. Who are going to modify the marks? Faculty only, right? You can view the marks, that's all. So um, so one second. Yes, that's why I have connected faculty to modify marks. And faculty can also view the marks, right? You can connect faculty also where it is view grade. I'm sorry, you can connect because after posting the marks, faculty can view the marks, right? You can, one second. Okay, in this way you can connect faculty to the view grade and student to the view grade. Next, I will zoom it. Just wait. See here once again. See, give feedback is a functionality. Who is giving feedback? Student. Next, enroll course. Who is going to enroll the course? Not a faculty, student, right? That's why I have connected student to enroll course. Next, login. Who are going to log in? Student will log in. That's why I have connected student to login and also admin. See here, and also admin, and also faculty. See here, and also faculty. One second, I will erase all these things. Okay, next, once again, see here, post attendance, post grades, modify marks. I hope you understood all these are functionalities of college administrative system. Now, see, don't identify, include and exclude use cases in first technique only. Next, next, coming to admin, admin can log in, right? See here, that's why I have connected admin and login. Using the relationship association solid line, you can give arrow marks also, your wish. Next, admin can add course, right? Admin can add course. That's why I have connected to admin. Next, admin can delete the course, right? Admin can delete the course. That's why I have connected to admin. Next, admin can add students, right? That's why I have connected to admin. Next, admin can delete the students. Admin can schedule the meetings. Again, there are many use cases. You can write on your own what you know about our college administrative system. Is it clear, students? Students, is it clear for you how to draw the use case diagram? You need to respond. Please respond. I need your responses. Is it clear? Shall I continue? Yes, you can write upload certificates, give review. Give review is nothing but giving feedback, all those things. View profile. Okay. Students, shall I continue? Shall I continue? Remaining members are not at all giving responses. Okay. Okay. Next. Next, what we need to do? Okay, first modeling technique is completed. What is the first modeling technique? Modeling the context of the system. Now, coming to the next. 1 second. Okay. Coming to the next modeling technique, what is the next modeling technique? Modeling the requirements of the system. Okay, this is the second modeling technique. In this modeling technique, what you are going to do? Here you need to identify the include, include, include use case and extend use case. Remember that include and extend use case. You need to identify in the next stage. First you need to identify only the functionalities. Don't no need to identify include and extend use cases. In next technique, coming to next stage, next technique, you need to identify the include and extend use cases. Okay, now let us see here. So I will zoom it. See here, enroll course. If you want to enroll course, compulsory you need to pay the fees, right? Without paying fees, how can you enroll to the course? Okay, so in order to execute enroll course, pay fees must be executed. That means you need to pay the fee, otherwise you cannot enroll to the course. That's why enroll course includes pay fee use case functionality. What is the relation between them? Draw a dotted arrow marks and remember that arrowhead must point to the include use case. Here what is the include use case? Pay fee. Pay fee is an include. What is the base use case? Enroll use case. What is the relationship between them? Include. Write down the stereotype. You need to write down the stereotype. What is the stereotype here? Two less than symbols and then name. What is the name here? Include. What is the relationship? Include. And then two greater than symbols. Okay, I hope you understood. So once again, see, enroll course. If you want to enroll course compulsory, you need to pay the fee. That means this, in order to execute this functionality will call pay fee. You need, system must check whether you have paid fees or not. If you pay fee only, then only you can enroll to the course. Next, login. See here, at certain condition only, see, at certain condition, when you have entered invalid username or invalid what is that password, right? Invalid password, at that time only it will show some message like invalid username or invalid password, just like that. Okay, that's why the relationship between login and invalid user functionality is extend. When invalid user will be executed when at some certain condition is met. What is that condition? If you entered invalid username or if you entered invalid password, then only this functionality will be executed. Then only it will display invalid username or invalid password. Again that form will be displayed. Again you need to enter login. Okay, I hope you understood. That's why extend. Once again, see here, when extend relationship, when some condition is met, at that time only this use case, invalid use case will be executed. When it will be executed? When user will enter invalid username or invalid password. Okay, the relationship between login and invalid user is extend. See here, draw a dotted lines, and here what you need to remember is, here the arrowhead must point to base use case. Remember here, coming to include use case, this arrowhead must point to the include use case. Coming to extend use case, the arrowhead must point to the base use case. What is the base use case here? Login. I hope you understood, students. Next, the third technique. 1 second, third technique. What is the third technique? Forward and reverse engineering. Let us discuss what is forward engineering and what is reverse engineering. Let us discuss it. One second. Forward. Forward engineering. Forward engineering and reverse engineering. Let us see it. See, forward engineering means the process of transforming. The process of transforming models to code, or mapping the models, or mapping. Okay, you can write like this. Forward engineering is nothing but transforming the models or mapping the models to the code. Here you have identified many use cases, right? You have identified many use cases, just like login, give feedback, give feedback, view attendance, post attendance. There are many use cases. Here what you are going to do is, here you will use models to implement the systems. What are the models? Nothing but use case diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagrams, all those things. There are many diagrams, right? There are 9 diagrams. Using those models, what you are going to do, you are going to implement the system. It will be easy for you. Okay, by seeing these models, it will be easy for you to code or to implement the complex system. Now coming to forward engineering, let us take use case diagram. Okay, from use case diagram, what you are going to map? Here, for every use case, what you are going to do is, you are going to do test cases. Test cases. You are going to develop some test cases. Okay, here what you are going to do, every use case, there will be use case specification, right? Is nothing but use case description, basic flow, pre-condition, post condition. Already we have seen all those things. Alternative flows. Now you are going to test the preconditions, post condition of the use case, and also you are going to test the alternative flows, first basic flows, alternative flows of this login use case, preconditions for the login use case, post condition for the login use case. You are going to test. If uh, after testing it should be successful, then only you can implement. Sorry, one second. One second. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, you are going to use test cases for each and every functionality, and you are going to test the preconditions. What you have written, something, right? Like preconditions, post conditions, basic flow, all everything must be tested, so that this functionality must be successful. Using some tools, you are going to test each and every functionality. I hope you understood. This is what forward engineering. You are going to map these models. Coming to use case diagram, you are going to use these use cases for developing the test cases, and you are going to test each and every functionality. All the preconditions, all the post conditions, basic flow, alternative flow, everything must be successful. This is what forward engineering is. Coming to reverse engineering. Let us say reverse engineering. Reverse engineering. Reverse engineering. In reverse engineering, what you are going to do? See, in reverse engineering, you are going to map code to models. Okay, that means first you are going to from code you are going to draw the diagrams. Here in forward engineering, what you are doing? In forward engineering, what you are doing? Using some models, you are going to code it. You are going to implement. But coming to reverse engineering, you are going reversely. You are not modeling. Okay, you are not modeling. First, You are mapping this code to model. That means from implementation, you are going to draw the diagrams. How to do it? Let us see. First, for example, there is a method called login. Login. Something. Login. There are some statements. There are some conditions. If condition. If condition. 1 second. Once again, I will write. Something like something login. Some if condition. Mhm. Some condition. Again, it is calling invalid something. Something like this. Just I'm explaining with an example so that you will understand. Now, from this code, what you are going to do, you are going to map or you are going to identify the use cases. Now, see this method, this is functionality, right? What login is performing? Some task. Okay, some task it is performing. You are going to identify this method as a login from what is this? 1 second. From code, I'm sorry. From code, you are identifying the use cases. Okay, see this functionality, login function. Now here you are going to identify some alternative flows. How you are going to identify some alternative flows? See, when this condition is true, you are calling some other functionality. What is that? Invalid. So you are going to identify some invalid. Okay, invalid user, something like that. Now, what is the relationship between the login and invalid? See the condition. See here, when this condition is met, at that time only you are calling this function. That means it is a extend. See here, extend. See the arrow mark. This is a base use case. Login is a base use case and invalid use case is extended use case. What is the relationship between them? Extend. In this way, you are going to identify the use cases and their relationship from implementation, from code. Once again, see here. See here. I hope you understood. Once again, see the code, something like that. Just an example. From the code, you are going to identify in this way, and you are going to identify the relationship also. See, if condition is true, you are calling some function. Just an example, okay? Maybe it is wrong. I don't know. Just an example so that you will understand. If when the condition is met, some functionality is going to be called. So you know that when a condition is met, if a functionality is going to execute, you need to identify it as an extended use case. And what is the relationship between them? Extend. Okay, something, draw a dotted lines and then draw a arrowhead. Remember that in extend use case, arrowhead must be pointed to base use case. Don't get confused between include use case and extend use case. It's very easy. Okay, students, I hope you understood these three modeling techniques. In the next class, so one second. Okay. In today's class, we have discussed about use case diagram of college administrative system. I hope you understood how to draw the use case diagram. Using these three modeling techniques, you are going to draw. Okay, first modeling technique, second modeling technique, third modeling technique. From the using these techniques, you are going to draw use case diagram. In next class, I will discuss about the use case diagram of library management system, use case diagram of ATM, use case diagram of retail store management system. Let us see it. Okay, students, time is up, right? If there are any doubts, please respond, students. If there are any doubts, please respond. Is it clear? Is this class is okay for you? Please respond. Did you understand, students? Or are there any doubts? See, you need to respond. Students, please respond. Any doubts? No one is responding. Okay, students, only two or three members are responding. Okay, students, I hope you understood well. It's very easy to draw the class use case diagram. Let us see remaining examples.